Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head for the funny papers on this Tuesday edition of Classic Radio Theater, an episode of The Adventures of Archie Andrews starring Bob Hastings from 75 years ago, March 15th, 1947, and the Red Cross benefit. And we thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday, 15th day of March, 74th day of the year. We have 291 days remaining, and in the Roman calendar, today was known as the Ides of March. Christopher Columbus returned to Spain on this date in 1493 after his first trip to the Americas. Happy birthday, Maine. You became the 23rd state of the Union on this date in 1820. President Wilson sent 12,000 U.S. troops over the Mexican border on this date in 1916 to pursue Pancho Villa. The Broadway musical My Fair Lady opened in New York City on this date in 1956 with Rex Harrison and Julie Andrews heading up the original Broadway cast. Victor Figueroa, a federal prisoner, put to death at Fort Madison, Iowa on this date in 1963, the last execution of the federal prisoner until the execution of Timothy McVeigh in 2001. President Jolson said on this date in 1965 in response to the Selma crisis, told Congress, "We shall overcome," while advocating the Voting Rights Act.
The bill that I am presenting to you will be known as a civil rights bill. But in a larger sense, most of the program I am recommending is a civil rights program. Its object is to open the city of hope to all people of all races.
The bill was signed into law by President Jolson on August 6, 1965, during the height of the civil rights movement. The film version of Mario Puzo's The Godfather novel of the same name released in theaters on this date in 1972. It went on to be considered one of the greatest films of all time. The Department of Veterans Affairs established on this date in 1989, and in 1998, Titanic defeated Star Wars for the number one place in the North American domestic box office, $471 million. Kathleen Woolley alleged on the CBS News program 60 Minutes back in 1998 that Bill Clinton had sexually assaulted her over 4 years earlier on November 29, 1993, during his first term as president.
I remember saying to him, "Aren't you afraid that somebody's going to walk in here?" And he said, "No, I'm not." And then he took my hand and he put it on him.
According to Willie, during a meeting in the private study off the Oval Office, Clinton had embraced her tightly, kissed her on the mouth, fondled her breast, and then placed his hand on his genitalia. Clinton denied assaulting Willie. Passing away on this date in history, football player broadcaster Tom Harmon, pediatrician and writer Dr. Benjamin Spock, actress Ann Southern, actor Ron Silver, and the very funny comedian David Brenner, all passing away on this date in history. Birth dates today? Well, how about President Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, musician Lightning Hopkins, McDonald Carey. These are the days of our lives. Actor-comedian Joe E. Ross, musician bandleader Harry James, singer Carl Smith, astronaut Alan Bean, and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You remember him from Taxi and Dear John. Judd Hirsch, 87 years old today, as is televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. The Grateful Dead's Phil Lesh is 82. Beach Boys' Mike Love, 81. Sly and the Family Stone's Sly Stone is 79. Guitarist Ry Cooder, 75. Twisted Sisters' Dee Snider is 67 today. Lots of musicians today, including Poison's Bret Michaels is 59. Sugar Ray Mark McGrath is 54. And Will.I.Am of the Black Eyed Peas is 47. And then you take The Young and the Restless and Desperate Housewives, Eva Longoria, 47 years old. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 15th day of March as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And on this Tuesday, we go back 3/4 of a century to March 15th, 1947, The Adventures of Archie Andrews, starring Bob Hastings as Archie. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
I mentioned this previously, but it's very difficult for me to get into the dark side of Archie Andrews, having read all of Archie Andrews' comics since I was a little tyke. You know, that's going back over 60 years. But they were there, and now we're going to go back 75 years. Here's The Adventures of Archie Andrews as it was presented on NBC on a Saturday morning, March 15th, 1947. And there's a Red Cross benefit involved. Let's listen, shall we?
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, and you relax too, folks, if you can, because here he is again, right out of the pages of Archie Comics magazine with all his gang. Well, it's Saturday afternoon as we look in on the Andrews home in Riverdale. We find Mr. Andrews seated in the living room, happily reading his paper.
As you came to
Hi, Dad.
Hello, son. Hello, son.
Dad, could I have the comics, please?
The what? Oh, comics. No, Archie, you certainly may not.
Gee whiz. Well, how about the sports section, huh? Sports section.
No, Archie, no. You cannot have the sports section or the comic section or any other section. I'm reading this paper, and you can't have any of it. Now, is that clear?
Gee whiz, yes, Dad.
Yes. Archie, for Pete's sakes, what are you doing down there on the floor?
I thought I might be able to see the front page from down here.
Oh, good grief, Archie, get up off the floor.
Yes, Dad.
Haven't you anything better to do than heckle me while I'm trying to read this paper? Why don't you, call up Veronica?
I have nothing to talk to her about.
Well, there must be something you can do. Some place you'd like to go.
Well, I would like to go to the movies.
Fine. Here's $1. Go ahead. Go to the movies. Stay and see it twice.
Oh, gee whiz, thanks, Dad. I will. Thanks a million. See you later, Dad.
Yes. Oh, boy can really annoy.
Are you busy right now?
Oh, me. What is it, dear?
Run next door and borrow 2 onions. I need them for dinner.
But Mary, it's a long time until dinner.
I know it, but just do what I say.
I want to go and get... all right, Mary. All right, I'll go. but I don't know why you have to borrow things all the time. Yes, 2 onions for dinner.
That man can really be... Oh, no, who can that be? Hello?
Mrs. Andrews?
Yes?
This is Genevieve Lodge.
Well, Mrs. Lodge, hello.
Yes. Mrs. Andrews, I wanted to talk to you about the Red Cross. As you know, the Red Cross Fund is conducting its drive all this month.
Yes?
And they do such wonderful work. Their service to veterans, to the armed forces, and to communities in time of disaster, and so on.
Oh, of course, Mrs. Lodge. Everyone knows the wonderful work of the Red Cross.
Well, tonight I'm giving a big party for the benefit of the Red Cross.
A party?
Yes, with refreshments and hors d'oeuvre and everything, and I'm charging admission with all the money to go to the Red Cross.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, Mrs. Lodge.
Yes, isn't it? But I do so want it to be a glorious success, and I was wondering whether your husband would perform tonight.
Perform?
Yes, he tells such wonderfully funny stories, and I'd love to tell them tonight.
Oh, I see. Why, of course, Fred will be glad to.
Oh, wonderful, my dear, simply wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll see you tonight.
We'll be there.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, dear. I hope Fred doesn't mind. Maybe I should...
Here are your onions.
Oh, thank you, dear. But, Fred, Mrs. Lodge just called.
Well, what about it?
Well, she's giving a benefit party for the Red Cross tonight.
Oh, you didn't say we'd go, did you?
Fred, that's no way to talk.
Now, Mary, I have nothing against the Red Cross. In fact, I have already given them one contribution, and I'm going to send them another check before the month is over. But those parties of Mrs. Lodge's,
now,
a
Fred,
bunch of stuffy people and stale hors d'oeuvre that no one can eat.
Yes, but dear,
and that Mrs. Lodge just fawning all over everybody. Oh, my dear. Yes, my dear. How are you, my darling? Mary, I am not going to that party.
But, Fred, she asked if you would tell your joke.
I don't care what she... Tell my jokes? Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, Mary, there's nothing I'd rather do than go to Mrs. Lodge's party tonight. Oh, well, dear, I've finally got my routine all set for the party. Would you listen to it, dear? I want to get your reaction to the...
Why, of course, dear. Go right ahead.
Yes. Well, I thought I would begin by...
Well, go on. Go on, I'm listening.
Oh, all right, dear. I thought you were busy. I thought I would begin...
Well... Go ahead.
Mary, I would go ahead if you would stop chopping those confounded onions for just 1 minute.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Go ahead. You have my undivided attention.
All right, dear. All right. Now, tonight at that party, I'll make a few introductory remarks, and then I'll lead into my first joke.
Yes?
I'll say, that reminds me of a funny story.
Oh, what reminds you of a funny story?
Something I will have said in the introduction, Mary.
Well, go ahead, dear.
All right. Now, I'll say, that reminds me of a funny story. A story of an old maid who finally married an X-ray specialist because he
was the only one who ever saw anything in her.
Anything in her. Mary, what did you say?
I said because he was the only one who ever saw anything in her.
But I was going to say that, Mary. That's my... Mary, don't ever do that when someone's trying to tell a joke. It upsets people. It frustrates them, confuses them.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
Bet half the nervous people in this country got that way just from not being allowed to tell the last lines of jokes.
I said I'm sorry, dear. I won't interrupt again.
Terrible thing. All right, dear. All right. So just see that you don't. It's not nice. Now, After I tell this joke about the X-ray specialist, then I have a very funny story about the lightning bug who got caught in the lawnmower.
Oh, that must be a new one, dear. How does it go?
Well, first of all, I say, do you know what the lightning bug said when he got caught in the lawnmower? No? Well, he said, the lightning bug said,
No. Oh, Fred, go ahead. What did the lightning bug say?
Well, the lightning bug said when he got caught... Oh, great. I can't tell jokes with that going on. Is that Archie back from that movie already?
Well, he must be.
Archie!
My little man.
Archie!
Calling me, Dad?
Yes, come in here.
Okay, Dad. No. Well, see me no more. When I go to that
Stop
one.
that infernal singing.
Well, gee, Dad, that's just how the guy did it in the picture. He said, 20, how I love you,
I do not care how the guy did it in the picture. Be quiet.
Well, gee, I'm sorry, Dad.
Fred, the boy was only singing.
I know that, and I have no objections to singing as such. But, Archie, you never think of anyone but yourself. You come in here singing at the top of your lungs with no thought of whether somebody might be busy or sick or dying, for that matter. 20, gee, I love you, how I love you, my dear. Oh, just terrible.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Well, hereafter, show a little consideration for others.
Yes, Dad.
You are not a child anymore.
Yes, Dad, I know.
So if you expect to Archie, are you crying?
Well, yes, Dad, but it doesn't matter. It's only...
Fred, you see? I told you you're too harsh with a boy.
Mary, I didn't. What did I say to make him cry?
But
Well, he's crying, isn't he?
But, Mom,
Fred, I think you should absolutely apologize to the boy.
Apologize? Well, all right, Mary, I will. Archie, son, I'm sorry. Well, will you accept your poor old dad's apology?
I accept your apology, Dad.
Fine. Then what in tarnation are you still crying about? I said I'm sorry.
Well, that's just it, Dad. I wasn't crying because of anything you said. There must be onions around here someplace.
For pity's sake. I've been chopping onions in this bowl. Is that what's making you cry?
Well, sure, Mom. You know how sensitive I am now.
Great. Mary, I told you that I did not say anything to make that boy cry.
Fred, I'm sorry.
Well, sure, I feel fine.
Oh, yes, you sound fine. Look, if you can't stand onions, go into the other room, Archie, but just be quiet.
Okay, Dad, I'm going. I sure can't stand those onions.
Well, certainly glad that's over. Well, Mary, perhaps now I can tell you what the lightning bug said when he got caught in the lawnmower.
Well, yes, Fred. Go right ahead.
Well, when the lightning bug got caught in the lawnmower, he said, delighted no end.
Fred, that's very funny. Very, very funny.
Mary, are you crying at my joke?
No, Fred, your joke is all right. I guess these onions are getting me, too.
Oh, fine. Well, I guess I'll go someplace else and rehearse. Even Jack Benny couldn't be funny around here.
Boy, this fresh air sure feels good. Funny thing how I just get near an onion and I go all to pieces. I wonder...
Hi, Archie.
She was Jughead.
What'd you expect? Uncle Remus?
Gee, Jug, I wish you'd been here a little while ago. I just saw a swell picture all about Al Jolson.
Oh, I heard that was pretty good.
Yeah, but I can do as good as that guy, I bet you.
Oh, sure.
Better, in fact. You want to hear me?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, listen to this. Mommy, my little mommy, the sun shines east, the sun shines west, but I've just learned where the sun shines best. Mommy, Jughead!
Huh?
Who is singing this anyway?
I just joined in a little.
Well, don't. I'm trying to show you how I would do that song.
Okay.
All right, now I'll try another one. Now listen. Swanee, now I love you, my dear old Swanee. I give the world to thee, and Jughead.
Huh?
Jughead, just what do you think you're doing?
Singing.
Jug, it so happens that I'm trying to show you how I can imitate Larry Parks imitating Al Jolson.
Well, I'm just imitating Archie Andrews, imitating Larry Parks, imitating Al Jolson.
I know it. But can't you even keep quiet for just a minute?
Why? I like to sing.
Jug, you can sing all you want to, but right now I just want...
said I should keep quiet.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't
How can
sing.
I keep quiet and still sing?
But if you didn't talk so much,
Who
I'd explain you.
talks so
I'm trying to do a
much?
little...
I'm the only one
I'm
talking.
trying to...
Well, you're
Look,
the
I'm
one
trying to
that
imitate
talks.
Al Jolson.
What's the
All you
matter?
have to do is
What
give me a
are
little
you two
chance
arguing about?
Huh?
March 15th, 1947, The Adventures of Archie Andrews on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The news from 75 years ago today is next.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station. This hour, an episode of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, as it was originally broadcast on Saturday, March 15th, 1947. In the newspapers of that Saturday, 75 years ago today, these were some of the headlines. Secretary of the Navy James Forrestal called on the nation to remain strong in armaments until the United Nations has put together in effort a workable plan for the maintenance of peace by use, if necessary, of military forces under its control. Forrestal said, "The United Nations is the keystone in the edifice of peace we are trying to conduct, and we have dedicated our energies and resources to its success." The Secretary said these words in a prepared speech before the Philadelphia Foreign Policy Association. Prime Minister Stalin is likely to speak his mind to U.S. Secretary of State Marshall on President Truman's proposed plans to aid Greece and Turkey when the Soviet leader receives the American secretary at an event, which may occur at any time now. Eddie Gilmore, writing for the Associated Press, says no Soviet leader thus far has made a public statement on the president's declaration, but the Russians certainly must believe that Marshall played a guiding part in shaping the president's policy. 2 of the most important newspapers in the Soviet Union, the Communist Party newspaper Pravda and the government organ Izvestia, have lashed out at the Truman Plan. Both newspapers displayed a frankness rarely employed in commenting upon the actions of the head of state. Pravda took up the subject at great length in an attack similar to the arguments employed yesterday by Izvestia. Delegates to the Four-Power Foreign Ministers Conference read at breakfast a charge in Pravda, organ of the Communist Party's Moscow Central Committee, that the Truman policy did not serve the cause of peace and security, and that in its proposal a policy of imperialist expansion is revealed under the guise of charity. The number of veterans showing up with a war-developed psychiatric neurosis condition is worrying the Veterans Administration. The head of the VA, General Omar Bradley, said yesterday. Bradley, in Atlantic City for a behind-the-doors meeting of the National Post-War Conference, said they have reported nightmares of combat duty some 6 months to a year after their discharge. And one psychiatrist told Bradley a number have a desire to kill someone dear to them, a wife perhaps. He said he could not estimate the number of such cases. Congressman Kearns, the Republican of Pennsylvania, the House Labor Committee, told reporters he has received a second threat, this time not by telephone, in connection with the slaying of George P. McNair, Jr., the railroad president in Peoria, Illinois. Kearns declined to describe the nature of the threat or say anything except that it did not come by telephone. The committee member received an anonymous telephone call last Tuesday night saying he'd been dining with McNair recently when the railroad official was in Washington to testify concerning labor legislation. He said the caller told him, "Better change your views about labor." McNair was slain the night before the call. Lieutenant General Lucius D. Clay took over command of the United States forces in Europe with a declaration that the rehabilitation of German youth would be one of his prime objectives. Quoting, "We have no more important task in Germany." William Z. Foster, the national chairman of the Communist Party in the United States, arrived in Rome last night on a 2-month tour of Europe to study the situation there. Downtown Los Angeles jolted today. 3 men injured in 2 explosions of gas accumulated in a power tunnel conduit that blew 2 heavy manhole covers 20 feet into the air. The explosions occurred at 4th and Hill Street and snarled traffic. And Miss Margaret Truman departed by plane from Washington for Detroit, where she will make her radio debut as a singer with the Detroit Symphony Sunday evening hour. White House Assistant Secretary Eben Ayers said the president's daughter is completely recovered from laryngitis, which compelled her to cancel her scheduled performance a week ago. The Detroit program will be broadcast by the ABC network from 6 until 7 tomorrow evening. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Saturday, March 15th, 1947. On your radio, Archie Andrews. The conclusion next on this Tuesday, Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
On Wednesday's Classic Radio Theater, Lou Ayres, Lionel Barrymore in the story of Dr. Kildare from 71 years ago, March 16th, 1951, and it appears we have someone with a broken leg. But there must be more to it, and we'll see on tomorrow's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But right now, the conclusion of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, starring Bob Hastings as Archie, from 75 years ago, March 15th, 1947.
Oh, hello, Betty. Where did you come from?
I saw you from my house, so I came out. What's the big argument?
Archie told me I couldn't sing.
I did not, Jug. I just asked you to listen to me sing.
Since when can you sing?
I can sing a lot better than you.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I certainly can.
Wait a minute. Since when can either of you sing?
Well, that's just the point, Betty. I just wanted to show Jughead I can imitate Al Jolson as good as anyone.
You, Archie?
Sure. You want to hear me?
Well, I should know better, but go ahead.
Okay, listen. There's a rainbow round my shoulder, and a sky of blue above. Now the sun shines bright, the world's all right, 'cause I'm in love. There, Betty, how did you like that?
Oh, golly, Archie, that was awfully nice. Did you mean it?
Mean what?
The song. The part about your being in love.
Oh, never mind what the song said. What about my imitation of Al Jolson? Did you...
Oh, boy, there's Veronica.
Hi, Jack. Hi, Betty. Hi, Veronica.
Hi.
Hello, Archie. Hi, y'all. Archie-kin. I'm looking forward to our date tonight, Archie. Dear.
Well...
Even if you are wasting your time with Betty right now. Wasting his time. Wasting it. Well, if you're so smart, Miss Lodge, it just happened that Archie has been serenading me.
What?
Archie? Yes, he just sang me a love song.
But I was just...
Didn't he, Jughead?
Oh, sure.
Archie, is this true?
Oh, well, I was...
Of course it's true.
It sure is.
Well, I like that.
Oh, Veronica, you don't understand.
He sang, the sun shines bright, the world's all right, 'cause I'm in love. Right to me, so there. Archie, did you?
He sure did.
Just be quiet, Veronica. I can explain.
I'm not the least bit interested in your explanations, Archie Andrews. If you're going to stand around on the street serenading every girl you meet, you can just go out with someone else tonight.
But Veronica. But Veronica. But Veronica. Wait, Veronica. Oh, Veronica. Gee whiz.
Gee, she was pretty sore.
Oh, golly, Archie, I'm awfully sorry. I didn't mean to spoil your whole evening for you.
Oh, no, Betty. You didn't spoil my evening. Not at all. I've been looking forward to playing gin rummy with Jughead for a long time.
Fred, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be, dear. Well, is Archie going with us?
Well, I don't think so, dear. This morning he said he had a date with Veronica for tonight.
Veronica? Why, isn't she going to be at her own mother's party?
Evidently not. Well, let's go, dear.
All right, Mary. You know, something tells me we're going to have a very enjoyable evening at the lodges.
Mr. and Mrs. Andrews, so glad you got here.
Hello, Mrs. Lodge.
Are we terribly late? Oh, no, not at all. Dear Mrs. Hastings is playing. Come in and sit down.
Oh, Mary, good grief, listen to that.
Fred, be quiet. Now, sit right there, Mrs. Andrews. Oh, thank you. You sit there, Miss Andrews?
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
Fred.
I didn't say anything, dear.
Well, stop fidgeting.
Thank heaven for that. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought that you... I thought it was... Well, I am,
Lovely, simply lovely. Grand applause.
Why? Lovely. It was wonderful. Mary, don't overdo it. She's liable to play an encore.
Oh. Miss Hastings, dear girl, that was delightful. Simply delightful. Yes, indeed. Now, everyone. Now, on behalf of the Red Cross, for whom this gathering is being held, I thank you. And now, pardon me a moment. I see what our next bit of entertainment will be.
Fred, she's coming over here.
Oh, yes. Oh, and Mr. Andrews.
Mrs. Lodge, that was a very lovely number. Very lovely. Yes, lovely.
Oh,
lovely.
I've heard better.
Mother. Oh,
Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Andrews.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello, Veronica.
Mother, some of the guests are leaving.
Oh, my goodness, I was afraid of that. Mr. Andrews, do something before this party dies on its feet.
Yes, of course.
My goodness, if any more people leave, we won't get any money at all for the Red Cross. Please tell your jokes.
All right, Mrs. Lodge, I'll do my best.
Oh, fine. Well, I'll introduce you before it's too late.
Thank you.
Quiet! Quiet, everyone! Everyone! Quiet! Now, dear friends, our next bit of entertainment will come from a man you all know well. A man who has deservedly won a reputation for his quick wit and sense of humor. And who will now tell us some of his amusing stories. Mr. Fred Andrews. Good luck, dear.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, Mrs. Lodge, for that very flattering introduction. You read it just the way I wrote it. For a while there, I thought you weren't going to introduce me at all. I thought I was going to be a wallflower tonight. Yeah, which reminds me of a very funny story that I just heard about an old maid who had tried to find a husband for many years. Well, finally she succeeded in getting someone to marry her, an X-ray specialist. It seems that he was the only... It seems that this X-ray specialist was the only one who could see.
Mr. Andrews, forgive me for interrupting you, but we can't hear you very well with that horrible noise.
I'm not surprised. I can't hear myself.
What on earth can it be? Well, I've no idea. Well, it seems to have stopped now. Yes, it has stopped. Continue, Mr. Andrews. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right. Well, this X-ray...
Oh, good heavens, there it goes again.
Mary, can that be...
It's out in the garden. Fred, I don't know. I never heard anything like that.
Well, I did, just today.
Fred, where are you going?
To put a stop to that racket. Archie! Archie!
No. Huh? Somebody called me?
I certainly did. Archie, you come in here.
Gee whiz, is that you, Dad?
Yes, it certainly is, young man.
Gee, Dad, what are you doing here? I was... Oh, gee. Hello, everybody.
Hello, young man.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, Jughead.
Who'd you expect? Enrico Caruso?
Forsyth, be quiet. Archie, just what were you doing out in the garden?
Well, gee, Mrs. Lodge, I didn't know you were having a party.
Well, we were, till you started that noise.
Gee, I'm sorry,
Oh, Mother dear, that wasn't noise. That was singing.
What?
Oh, yes, Mother. Archie is quite a singer. In fact, you ought to have him sing for the party.
Yeah, what?
Oh, but I couldn't...
Say, Archie, do you sing?
Oh, me? Oh, no, Mrs. Lodge.
Archie, I insist. Mother, you've never heard anything like it.
Oh, but
I was just telling my
Veronica,
story.
dear, that's a wonderful idea. A little popular music is just what we need to liven things up.
But, Mrs. Lodge, what about my jokes?
A little later, Mr. Andrews. Not right now. Mrs. Hastings. Mrs. Hastings, dear girl, would you...
Archie, you and I are going to have a long, long talk.
Gee, Dad, how did I know this would happen?
Now, what are you going to sing, Archie?
Well, since this is for the Red Cross, I think an appropriate tune would be Sonny Boy.
Oh.
It wasn't in the picture, Mrs. Lodge, but it's Al Jolson's greatest song.
Oh, well, now that's fine. Now, Mrs. Hastings, do you...
Archie, you are going to make a fool of yourself?
Fred, it's too late now.
Now, everyone. Archie Andrews will now sing Sonny Boy. Archie, just stand right near that table there.
All right, Mrs. Lodge. Ready when you are, Mrs. Hastings. Climb upon my knee, sonny boy. You are only 3, sonny boy. You've no way of knowing, there's no way of showing what you mean to me, sonny boy. gray skies. I don't mind those gray skies. You make them blue, sunny bird. All friends may forsake me. Let them all forsake me. You'll pull me through, sunny boy. You're sent from heaven, and I know your worth. You've made a heaven for me, right here on earth, and then the angels grew lonely. They took you 'cause they were so lonely. Now I'm lonely too, sunny boys.
My goodness, that was wonderful, wonderful. Now, Archie, you were superb. Such emotion.
Archie, you were sensational. So moving.
Darling, you were great.
Yes, son, you were terrific.
Oh, it wasn't anything.
And Archie, I apologize for thinking you couldn't sing. You deserve a great big gift.
I apologize, too, son. You were fine.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, dear.
Thanks, Mom.
Now, excuse me a moment, Archie. This is the psychological moment to take up another Red Cross collection. Now, people, I want all of you to show your appreciation.
I had no idea I'd be such a hit.
Well, neither did I, son. Why, you almost had me in tears the way you sang that. Why didn't you tell your mother and me, Archie, about this secret talent?
Talent? Dad, that wasn't talent.
What?
Well, sure. You see that table I was standing next to?
You mean the one with the sandwiches and the hors d'oeuvre?
Sure, Dad. Onions. Remember?
Oh, onions. Onions!
Archie,
You mean
not
those
so loud.
onions on the
Nobody
table
knows
and
that.
back
It
at
was
you
you
for
and
one
Dad.
cause all the few?
So we conclude another chapter of the Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. This program is directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next week for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Bob Sherry wishing you a very pleasant weekend. So long. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
So high drama or high comedy, it's not. But it certainly was reflective of the way the comic strip and the comic books went. The Adventures of Archie Andrews from 75 years ago, March 15th, 1947, here on Classic Radio Theater. Please take a moment to thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every Tuesday at this time. Would you also do me a favor and visit my webpage, classicradio.stream? There you can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there. You can find our social media links. And you can also hear all of our shows on demand, not only at classicradio.stream, but also through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, even Amazon. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have yourself a great Tuesday. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.